Good evening, all. This is the Total Movie Recall live stream, and we're here again. I can't believe we're still here, boys, and we're still doing it. But here we are. Good evening, all.
Three weeks later.
Yeah.
That was wonderful. That was. As soon as that epic intro just ended, it's just oh.
I've got to sort my intros out, man. I don't know what the hell I'm doing each time. I don't know. I'll sort it out. I'll get a proper intro for us.
I won't criticize it. I think it's funny.
Yeah. Thank you. But anyway, thanks for joining us, everyone. Got the boys here. Paul, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I had
Badger,
to.
Badger's going first. Badger, how the hell are you, mate?
I was taking the piss. I was pretending to be Paul, but I can't do a Cheshire accent. I can't do it.
Nor can I do this accent, Philip.
Sorry,
guys, we can't go for 10 minutes about Badger's voice this stream. Okay?
I didn't do it last time. I couldn't do it last time. Anyway, yeah, I'm doing cool. Thank you very much. Just busy as hell, working on projects as usual, watching some solid films and having fun. Yeah, cool. Now it's Paul's turn. I feel bad for taking the spotlight.
I'm sound. I'm sound. Andy, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Yeah, so what have I been up to this week? I'm back at the gym, or not so much the gym, but I'm trying to get my dad bod in shape. I've been putting it off for about 3 years. So I've done 3 workouts this week, and my whole body is in absolute tatters. I'm just up and down stairs and stuff. So I'm feeling good for it, but yeah, it's kind of highlighted just how unfit the shape I was because I'm in serious pain.
That's so funny. I had a barbell delivered today. That was one of my packages, along with a couple of Blu-rays. But I had a barbell for my weights. I'm going to start doing some weights, boys. Get this 12-year-old body in shape.
A year from now, we'll all be buff on this stream.
Yeah, man. We'll sack off the movie.
Welcome to Total Movie Recall.
I'll be roided out on nuts.
Yeah. We'll all have the same semitones as Badger's voice. It'll be low.
Don't start this again. Don't start this again.
I was the one saying not bring it up, and I'm bringing it up. Bloody hell. Anyway, right, boys, we're just going to get straight into it. We've got a bit of a big show ahead of us. This one is a Denis Villeneuve special. We'll get into that one a bit later. It's a tier ranking. Since Dune's officially like a month away now. So we'll get into that.
I had to double check you'd spelt it right on your thumbnail before. I was like, is that how it's spelled?
I did the same thing.
I'm not right. So, oh my god, right. I'm not the best speller, and especially not at 6:30 in the morning when I was uploading a video the other week. Badger quickly messaged me. Good job, Badger's got weird sleeping hours like me. Text me saying, "Look, just to let you know, you've spelt theories completely wrong." I was like, "Fuck's sake!" And you know what it was? I was out with the dogs at the time. Them pooches, man. I dragged them straight back to mine. Changed the title.
Oh, dude. He shouldn't have done that. It's not that big.
Yeah, they got a wee and a half, and that was it. No shit. I had to go back out. But I had to change that spelling,
just dumps falling out their arses.
Yeah. It was pick up 3 dogs in my arms, just run back, sort the spelling out. But
I feel bad now.
You've got me paranoid, Paul. Now I need to go and check my titles.
No, it is right. I did. I was like, all right, have I been spelling it wrong the whole time?
Don't worry, there's plenty of time yet. I've got all these banners on the side. There's probably a few spelling mistakes in there. But yeah, what we'll start off with is we try and do this every stream, depending. But we'll start off with what we've been watching recently. Just a quick segment to get us warmed up. Andy, did you end up watching The Masters of Air by any chance?
I did, yes.
All right. Cool.
You
want to go first, mate?
Duty bound to do it for the sake of this. But I was pleasantly surprised. I was surprised when you said, Ellis, when we were speaking on WhatsApp, that it had mixed reviews. I hadn't seen anything but kind of positive stuff about it. But yeah, it's
really?
It's obviously from executive produced by Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks, who are behind Band of Brothers, which I think everyone loved. I don't really meet anyone who doesn't enjoy Band of Brothers. People are maybe less receptive to Pacific, but I feel that I think the reason for me that the Pacific didn't work quite the same was because Band of Brothers follows a group of guys throughout their journey, so you become almost part of the platoon, part of the company, and you relate more to the characters, and you're invested in them when they start kind of dropping off and things start happening to them. So far from what we've seen of Masters of the Air, it seems to kind of follow that structure more. So you're following a structure of American Army Air Force bombers, I think it is, pilots. And it seems to be that, that's the structure. It's like they start off in America, they go to England where they're based, and each episode so far has been like a different mission, and they seem to be getting hairier every time. So yeah, right. I think it's got that kind of Band of Brothers kind of camaraderie about it. So I've only seen 2 episodes, but I get that kind of feel. The production value is good. Austin Butler is like so charismatic, really, really sells it as being a bit of a flyboy, And
it's got Barry Keoghan in it as well.
Yeah, he's in it as well. It's quite good to see him play a more just straightforward good guy, if that makes sense. He's definitely the character. You can see why they've cast him, because he stands out more than the other guys. He's that kind of oddball character, but he seems likable. So I think it's good, because you were talking about that in the previous stream, that he has to watch. He doesn't get himself typecast as being the awkward, twisted villain. So I think this will be good for him in this role. But yeah, I think it's definitely worth a watch. Looks amazing in 4K, Atmos and all that. So it's a nice one if you're into home cinema and that. But I definitely think it's one to watch. It's definitely worth watching those first 2 and take it from there.
Is this another Apple series, Andy?
Yes, it's backed by Apple. I think Apple are nailing it just now. Like, there's not much they're putting out that's bad. I think they're emerging as one of the kind of the safer platforms to subscribe to.
I mean, what's that show they've got on there with Adam Scott in? It's like really successful.
Severance.
Oh my God. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, I really want to get into that. I really want to get into that.
That was the first show I watched on Apple Plus, and it absolutely blew me away. It really is. Believe the hype. It's good. It's so original and unique. You could do a whole stream on Severance. It's that kind of complicated. So I won't go into it too much, but I'm really looking forward to. I think they've just started. After all the writer strikes and stuff, I think they finally got round to start shooting it. So I think they're shooting it just now, season 2. So it's been a bit of a delay, because I think it was maybe like 2021 maybe. The first series came out, but because of the writer strikes and stuff, it's been delayed. But yeah, Severance is excellent.
It's
cool.
Isn't there that M. Night Shyamalan show on Apple Plus? The one that I haven't seen it yet, Servant or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think you're right. I've not seen it, but I think you're right, Badger. I think it is Apple Plus that it's on.
Yeah, I heard that's like exquisite from what I've heard. I should have checked it out, being an M. Night Shyamalan fan, like a big fanboy. But I haven't, because I don't have Apple Plus, and I don't like to store things online, so I don't have a way of watching it. But yeah, I want to check that out. But that seems to be another one of those things that adds to what you're saying, Andy, about Apple Plus, having some good shit on there. So yeah, maybe so. Maybe I'll just have to check that out.
I think if you've been on the fence about subscribing to Apple Plus, now is the time. Like, if you want to do it just for a few months or even a free trial, there's plenty of good stuff on there.
I might do that.
Yeah, man. I definitely need to subscribe to Apple Plus now. There's plenty in the back catalogue there that'd be worth paying for now. I want to watch the Godzilla show that was on there as well. But man, as far as Masters of Air goes, you've got me intrigued, Andy. Like, I want to see Barry Keoghan play a role where he's a good guy and not a weirdo.
He's still a bit weird, but he's definitely a good guy.
All right, cool, man. Paul, what about you, my friend? What have you been watching?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, nothing really is grabbing me at the moment for this year. It's just nothing's come out yet where I'm like, right, 2024 is off to an absolute banging start. So I've done this thing where I do it every couple of years where I fall back to the well of Paul Tams and go back to me 80s, 90s action movies, just me comfort films. So I've been watching a bit of Arnie, bit of Sly, but I'm trying to watch ones that I've not seen in a very long time. Like, I'm staying away from like T2 or Rocky or Rambo. I'm trying to watch ones that I've not seen in a long time, so it feels quite new again. So the other day I watched Universal Soldier, which I bought on 4K, which I showed you guys, which I've not seen. I watched it as a kid, but it never really stuck with me through my teens, through my adult life. So I hadn't seen it since I was about 12 or 13. And the only memory I had of it was the beginning of the movie. I knew it started in Vietnam and I knew it ended on a farm. But everything in between, I just blanked on. So it felt like I was watching a brand new movie again. And it kicked ass, man. It was such a great early 90s action film. Roland Emmerich's, I think, is it his first film? Is it Roland Emmerich's first movie?
Possibly.
Hollywood film, I think, maybe.
Is it?
You
Yeah.
may be right. Yeah, definitely his first American one.
But Van Damme's sick in it. Dolph Lundgren's awesome in it. It's just R-rated, just blood, just guns. It's just sick film. Just they're the films I love. Do you know what I mean? I just love. That's what I grew up on. I've teed up a couple of Stallone ones that I've not seen in a very, very long time. I've just bought the Stallone collection off Amazon for like 13 quid. It had like 5 movies in, and it was all ones I hadn't seen for ages. So like The Specialist and Tango and Cash. There was another one in there, Demolition Man. I love that movie, but I've not seen it for so long. So I'm looking forward to going back and watching all them again the next couple of days, weeks. Just this afternoon, I asked you guys yesterday in our chat, what do you think of Terminator Dark Fate? And I don't know why. I got onto it. I was in work, bored out my brains because it's really quiet in my work at the moment. So I was watching a load of like Schwarzenegger top 10 movies or Terminator rankings and that. And I was like, I've not seen Dark Fate since the cinema. So I rewatched it this afternoon, and I'm not going to lie, I had a good time with it. To be fair, it's nothing on the first. There is never going to be a better movie than Terminator 1 and 2 from now till the day I die. But I enjoyed it. It's got some problems with it, but it's an hour and like 50 minutes action movie, and it's one of the better sequels. But that's about it. That's all I've really been watching. I've just been watching a load of old shit. Nothing new.
I'm exactly the same as that. I'm a nightmare for rewatching stuff. I should really watch that. I've never seen that, but then I end up just watching Predator or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Did you manage to catch up with The Running Man? Did you watch that one yet?
Yeah, I watched that new one. Yeah, I hadn't seen that for a while, but it's one of them films I know the back of my hand, even though I haven't watched it for years. But I was picking up on lines in it that I had never really noticed. Well, there's a line when they're he's with the girl, Arnie. And she goes, "We should have gone to Hawaii." He goes, "Well, I had the shirt for it, but you fucked that up." And I was like, I've never heard that line in that movie before. That has got to be on the 4K cut or something. I've never heard that line in that movie. And I was sat there, and my missus laughing me head off. She's like, "What are you laughing at?" I was like, "I've never heard that line before."
Awesome.
I don't remember that at all. I don't remember that line at all. Jesus.
The Running Man's aged well, I think. Like, maybe not aesthetically, but it's aged well, like, because we have so much reality TV now. Yeah, the concept of it.
What's funny is my missus went, "Who would actually watch shows like that? People murdering each other." I went, "Are you messing? Like half the planet would watch that. Are you joking?" The amount of like horrible stuff that's online that people like, "Have you seen this video of someone getting their head cut off or something?" And like, there's lots of sick bastards out there that would watch that show.
Jesse Ventura is hilarious, isn't it?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, man, it's funny.
Oh yeah, he is quality in that film. I forgot all about the role that he plays. He's like in the behind the scenes, isn't he?
Yeah, and then when he gets called up, he's like, "Fuck this."
Yeah.
Jesse Ventura, man, he's fucking hilarious, man. He was back then.
But yeah, man, Badger, what about you, mate? Been watching anything of worth recently?
Yeah, but nothing really particularly new, if I'm honest with you. I haven't been catching up much with 2024 because I've been way too busy with my projects at the moment. But yeah, I've recently started watching a show on Amazon Prime called The Devil's Hour. I'm 2 episodes in and I'm liking it. It's quite sinister and creepy. Bit of a detective sort of horror show. Pretty good. I like it. And there's one more. Oh, yeah, and I recently watched a film on Netflix that blew my fucking socks off. It was what I recommended you, Ellis. It was Bull.
Is that the film that I recommended you about 6 months ago?
And I've forgotten. I still don't remember you recommended it, but yeah, just saw it. Really low budget, made for like £500,000. English drama, thriller sort of thing. Very similar to Dead Man's Shoes, but a lot darker. And it's pretty good. But then all of a sudden, the last 2 minutes of the film came, and I was like, "Holy Christ!" And the ending blew my socks off. I was like, "Jesus Christ!" And I fell in love with it. That really did it for me. Very unique for me. I really liked it. It was inspiring. That's the type of filmmaking that inspires me. So I'm like, hell yeah. Recommended it to you, Ellis. You'd already seen it, and I was like, nice. It's cool, man.
Yeah.
So because I've forgotten that you recommended it.
Just the lead, Neil Maskell, like he's so bloody good, man. Like along with my weight gaining barbell that I got today, I also got the Kill List Steelbook Badger that I've been wanting for a while. So yeah,
I didn't know there was a steelbook. Nice. I've got it on Blu-ray, but not a steelbook. I didn't know I had one. Nice.
See the Kill List.
Have you seen Kill List yet, Andy?
No, I haven't. No, I need to see it.
No.
Andy, you don't like horror. Do not see that film.
Is it scary? Like, is it?
I don't think it. I don't know. Badger, would you say it's scary?
Kind of, but no. Ellis, come on, man. You cannot recommend that to him. If he's not a horror fan, just don't do that. You can't.
So I recommended Andy watching Killing of a Sacred Deer, and I felt really bad about it because if you know that film and you know the ending, like
absolutely loved it as well.
I know, yeah. So like that sort of gave me the hope that like, oh, you might enjoy Kill List. And the reason why I would recommend Kill List as well is that you can see the like awesome side of Ben Wheatley, who directed High Rise, because he is an amazing director.
He is.
He's got an awesome eye. But
that Kill List is, come on, man. That's too much even for me. Even I'm like, oh fucking hell, that film messed with my head, and I can take almost anything. So come on, dude, you just don't do that. That's something you have to. Even people who watch loads of nasty shit, you gotta just listen.
Ease them in.
So yeah, maybe check it out, but I wouldn't recommend it. I hardly recommend that.
Wheatley's got a very strange catalogue of movies, hasn't he?
The Meg,
yeah.
What the hell? Yeah, that's so right. Like that blew my mind when I found that out. That's like so like left field for Ben Wheatley. It's pretty mental, to be honest.
Have you seen the Mark Kermode review of Meg 2?
I have, because I can't remember what he said in it though.
It's terrible. I don't think it's a particularly good. I've not seen it myself, but it obviously didn't go down well with critics for what it is. If you take it for what it is, you probably have some fun with it. But it's funny because normally Kermode would tear that to pieces, but he's personal friends with Ben Wheatley, so it's quite funny to see him kind of selling out, and he dances around it. You know, he's kind of like, and he tries to turn it into this like positive review when you know he's just doing him a favor, but he just can't bring himself to say that shit, basically.
Oh, it's so nice to hear someone else say it.
It's quite funny to watch, actually. You should definitely check it out.
As far as I go, I've been catching up on True Detective. No spoilers here. Paul and Andy, have you seen this week's episode by any chance?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. Badgie, I think you're saving this one, aren't you, for a later date?
Yeah, I haven't watched any True Detective. I'll wait till it properly finishes before I watch it all. That's what I always do with TV shows. So that way, if the TV show gets cancelled or it ends up sucking, at least I get warned before I start watching it. So
in fairness, it's an anthology series, so you could jump in at any series and get something out of it. But as far as this, all sort of separated-ish. Apart, but I'm not going to get into it with this and get into spoilers and stuff now. But just overall reaction to the last episode. Really enjoying it. Really invested. Even if they don't end up making any more connections with season 1, because I got really excited about that last episode. I could see. I almost feel this week that they knew what they were doing in that second episode by putting all them little tidbits in, because it just got you hooked straight away if you're like aware of the past lore with True Detective. But yeah, really good episode. I'm really loving the relationship between Danvers and Navarro, the two lead detectives. I think they're both awesome. I think Jodie Foster's just absolutely smashing it.
My queen.
Yeah, mate.
She's awesome in it.
She's so good, so
Dude,
good.
she's been brilliant since he was a bloody child, man. Just
Yeah.
talented since birth, man. Like Taxi Driver. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, man. And I love that this is like sort of like in my own fucked up way, this is like a spiritual successor for her when it comes to like Silence of the Lambs, because it's dealing in that sort of detective semi-horror aspect of it. But yeah, man, really enjoyed it. The last like couple of minutes of this episode.
Oh my god!
Right.
Yes,
we're delving into something now head first, which is like a new territory for True Detective, and I'm interested to see where it goes. We're like halfway through the season now, so 3 more episodes. But really,
all I'll say is, Alice, that last couple of minutes creeped me out.
Yeah, it was good. It was all done really well.
Yeah,
like they had a really good build up to that point as well. But I like to see where the fallout of that's going to be. But yeah, Paul, what did you think of this week's episode?
I enjoyed. I think it's the weakest of the 3 episodes so far. Just because it was more character driven than plot driven. It was more about character backstories rather than pushing the plot forward. But I don't really like reviewing shows episode to episode, because to me it's the 3rd chapter of 6 chapters, you know what I mean? So once it all goes together, it, you know, if you were to binge it 1 to 6 in a day, it would just feel like the 3rd chapter of a 6-arc story.
I won't lie, you boys are selling it to me. I won't lie, you guys are
it's I'm Badger, I've not seen season 2 or 3. I just jumped into this just off the premise of it's the trailer and what it looked like and Jodie Foster and stuff. So I've only seen season 1, but like Ellis said, you don't really need to have seen it, but there are little Easter eggs and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm enjoying it, man. I can't wait to start getting answers. The reveals, I think, are going to be awesome. It's going to be like the talk of social media when they start revealing what is actually happening in the show.
Because, like, just quickly, like, when the show was first came out, like, a lot of people got all 6 episodes to review. So I've seen like a couple of reviews where they say it dips down in the middle, but that hasn't happened for me yet. So it dips down in the middle, then gets really good at the end again. It finishes really well, apparently. So I don't know. This is all good stuff. I think we're going to end up with a really good, solid season of TV here. But we'll just get in some comments. We've got some comments. Giant lizard, monkey man. We'll get into that a little bit later. My God. We've got Cheekster 777. Good evening, Andy.
Good evening, Cheekster. Good to see you in the comments, mate.
We've got Treknaut here again. How's it going, mate?
How's it going, dude?
Happening, Treknaut.
And we've got Gareth. Yo, fellas. How's it going,
Gareth.
Video Tasties?
Going Tasties.
I'll plug us tomorrow night, Gareth. I'll be on Gareth's channel tomorrow night, Video Tasties, and we're going to be watching Blade 2. Ew.
Oh,
I've not seen that in so long. I need to watch it again.
Dope film.
I imagine I'm going to be getting into it in the comments with people, because I'm a staunch Blade 1 guy. Like, I'm Blade 1 camp all day long. But I know there's a lot of people out there that really fuck with Blade 2.
I can't pick between them. I never could.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Oh,
I love them both.
Like, what's your favorite Beatles song? You know what I mean? You're fucked.
There's a lot of people think that 2's the best, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the overall majority of people.
Oh, is it?
I think, yeah. But I think half of it, I think, is to do with the fact of it's the director, like Guillermo.
Yeah, it's sort of got that. It's got that plateau of Del Toro.
Yeah, 100%. Treknaut just saying, all good, ready for some Villeneuve action. We'll get into that one later on, my friend.
Is that how you spell it?
Has he got it right? He's got it right, hasn't he? He's nailed it.
Man.
Right, guys. First little topic I want to bring up. We'll get into news. Not loads of news today. We've got four topics. There was a fifth one I was going to add on. I'll just mention it really, really briefly. We got a new poster for Beetlejuice, didn't we? And the title, Beetlejuice. Really looking forward to it. We mentioned it in our 2024 preview. I really like the title. I think it's sort of quite clever, to be fair.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Can't wait to see what Keaton looks like.
It took me a minute to realise that the ticket that he was holding was the date the movie was coming out.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was just like the number he has in the first. So, when he's waiting for the ticket, he's got the dead long one. He's like, oh. But I didn't realise that's the date the movie comes out. But we'll get the trailer the next couple of weeks, I reckon.
Have you got the picture? Yeah, I've not seen it. I'm frantically searching for it just now.
Give me 2
seconds.
Basically,
it's Beetlejuice's hands holding, the ticket he gets in the afterlife at the end. With the long number on, but the number's the date the film comes out. It's a good poster. And I like the title. The title's clever, like you said, yeah.
Oh, I see now. Yeah, my turn.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to this one. Badger, where are you at with Beetlejuice? Are you looking forward to this one, or?
Well, yes and no. I've always been a fan, but not a mental fan. I've got mad nostalgia with it. I saw it quite a lot when I was a kid, but it was like Ghostbusters. I never managed to get like so crazy for it. Obviously, I'm a fan though, obviously, but I don't remember much about it. I won't lie. It's been over a decade since I last saw it, but I do need to watch it again. And I know it's a balling film. Michael Keaton was a G.
Yeah, he's a poster.
I've got a friend who would go if ever go to Mackey's with him or something where we have to queue. And he's next in line. He always still says it today. He always goes, well, looks like I'm next.
Quality. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Beetlejuice.
I'm mainly looking forward to it just for Michael Keaton. At the end of the day, guy's a phenomenal actor. Like the amount of variety the guy has, he's fantastic. I mean, Birdman, holy moly. So talented, and the fact he didn't come from Beetlejuice, but you know what I mean, he's done a role that eccentric. I'm just looking forward to seeing him doing that again with that weird voice. I want to see it again.
It is Tim Burton. It's Tim Burton directing, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I mean, man, yeah. Winona Ryder's back in it as well, isn't she?
Yeah.
Is she?
And Jenny Ortega. Jenny Ortega in it?
Yep.
I think what was that? Home Alone, the mum from Home Alone was on the
Catherine O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah.
I think she's in it as well, is she not?
Yeah, she is.
I think she's in it.
Oh, I'm getting juiced. I'm getting juiced.
She's having a bit of a revival this year because she's in Argyle as well, isn't she?
She's just been cast in Last of Us Season 2 as well.
What? Who else?
An undisclosed role, but it's a role that is not in the game, and people are speculating it's that cult woman that's all over posters and that you don't really see in the game, and they're going to expand on that. People are speculating that's what it might be, or Abby's mum.
Mm-hmm.
Trekkenor just saying it's mad that they rebuilt the town. Yeah, I've seen the behind the scenes photos. It does look amazing. There's a behind the scenes photo of Michael Keaton dressed up as Beetlejuice.
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah,
it's floating about. It's not the best quality though, so I wouldn't recommend it. Checking out for Beetlejuice, yeah, man. But yeah, Andy, Beetlejuice 2, you looking forward to it? Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's kind of similar to Badger. Like I've got it on 4K. I grew up watching it a few times, but I'm not a mad fan. So I'm not counting down the days. But just us talking about it there has got me kind of excited. I didn't realise that a lot of the original cast were back. But my only consideration about it is that it's kind of the first one's famous for the fact that he's only in it for 12 minutes or something, 15 minutes of screen time. Is that right?
Yeah.
Michael Keaton.
He's not actually in it that much. Yeah.
Yeah, and a part of me wonders if that's why it was so successful. Not the movie in total, but the fact that you only got the highlights of him as such. Whereas I don't know, maybe because people love the character so much, and Michael Keaton's now this huge Hollywood entity that they'll be right, he's going to be in it front and center for the whole film, and maybe that character doesn't work the same for a full 2 hours, but that's assuming that they do that though. They might not. He might be a kind of supporting turn again.
As long as they don't do what they did with Candyman in the latest one, He was like not in it. He was, but he really wasn't. As long as they don't do it like that, I think it'll go over well. I mean, he got like one line, I think, in the whole film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
checking
watch
out just
Wreck-Em,
saying they
that's it.
left you wanting more of him.
Yeah.
100%, man. 100%.
I think it'll be good. It'll do well because people love that movie, you know, and it'll no doubt release. What's the release date? Is it September, October time?
I've just got rid of it now. I think it's October, 6th of October.
Yeah, it'll be for Halloween, won't it? So it'll go down well at the box office. I
That's a
think.
good shout, that, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I thought it said June. I thought it said June then.
Maybe
That's the American date.
Yeah, that's
It's
what I
flipped,
thought.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, they're doing that again, really? Fucking hell.
Movie Worm, Jordan, how's it going, mate? Hey, lads.
Oh, what's happening, everyone?
How's it going, Jord?
Hey, man.
Right, lads. Next topic. News story. Right, James Gunn is giving a little bit of a Batman DCU update. Now, I'm grasping at straws with this one. I totally realise that because there's been no news about this film, which I find quite interesting. If I'm being honest, my phone's gone off there, unprofessional. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on this. James Gunn gives an update about the Batman. Basically, what he's saying here is that the two movies, Pattinson's Matt Reeves' trilogy will be simultaneously coming out as well as The Brave and the Bold, James Gunn's Batman. Now, I thought that the plan of action was going to be that trilogy was going to finish, then they ramp up with that, because the way James Gunn's been going on, he's been like, this is way, way, way out. But it can't be that far out if it's going to be released after the Batman 2. So I don't know. It's just basically there was a fan. He's very active on Twitter and stuff, isn't he, at the moment, or X, what it is. Is it true that The Brave and Bold will only be released after the end of Matt Reeves' Batman trilogy? No. So that's just bluntly.
Well, to be fair, he doesn't know when the third movie would come out.
Yeah.
He's supposed to know that. Yeah.
In fairness, but do you not think they've got some sort of plan? Like,
I think for us, we're going to know the difference because we're sweaty movie fans. For casuals, I think it might confuse people. Like, why is there like, I've just watched a Batman film that's completely different to this one. What's this one got to do with the Reeves one? It's nothing like. It might confuse people.
Maybe.
But if Matt Reeves is doing, if you say 2025 Batman Part 2, and then 3, say 2027, 2028, then Brave and the Bold could come out in 26, 27. I don't know, like sandwiched in between them. But I don't know. The thing is, though, he can't wait too long. He needs to get the DC know that's where the money is Batman. And if he's setting up his new DCEU with Superman, he's coming out with Superman. He's going to want to get Batman out as well ASAP, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest, because it's like there's a lot of reports going about, well, a lot of speculation going about that he's going to cast someone like in the 36 to 40 age range, which I think this DCU Batman will have to look considerably older, not as old as what they made Ben Affleck in Batman v Superman, but a little bit younger than that to make a difference between that Batman and Robert Pattinson's Batman. Because if you cast a guy that's the same age as Robert Pattinson, I don't know. I think it's not good. And I've got speculation, actually. So I told you guys about who I thought was going to be cast as Batman a while back. I came back on that a little bit, and I took the pedal off my foot off the gas a little bit with that, and I was like, nah, no way. But I've now totally changed my mind, and I'm back on that theory. I think he's going to cast Bradley Cooper as Batman. I'm almost 70% on it. I swear down. Like, this is how much I'm feeling that casting at the moment, and I think.
Well, he's almost 50, isn't he?
Yes, he is, but you can make Bradley Cooper look 40. Come on, 100%. That guy.
Yeah, true.
you know, like he doesn't look old, like realistically. But yeah, man. Andy, what do you think about having two Batmen in the cinema at once? Like, is it too much? Is this going to confuse people? How do you feel about it, mate?
Well, I suppose we've already kind of had it, haven't we? And that we had Ben Affleck's Batman and the Flash.
Yeah.
Only what was that? A year after he'd been reinvented as Pattinson's Batman. So it's not something it's not the first time they've done it. But I do think they have to be careful because, as Paul rightly said, Batman's where the money is. Like, he's one of those like gold standard characters that people come out for regardless of what it is. Yeah. But we are in the kind of twilight era. I think we're in the twilight of the superhero genre at its strength. You're always going to have, like, you know, it's like John Wayne when the Western era died. Yeah, the Westerns had kind of lost their popularity, but if John Wayne came back and did a Western, people still went to see it because it's John Wayne. So, like, Batman's the John Wayne of he's
Batman's never going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. Superman's not going anywhere. Spider-Man's not going anywhere. You know, these guys will always get an audience, but you do have to be careful with it, I think, because from a box office point of view, from a studio point of view, because superhero films just aren't a surefire thing to make money anymore. So, yeah, for me, I don't know if maybe it's DC, isn't it? It's Warner Brothers owned, so who knows? They might have looked at like Barbie and Oppenheimer. Now, I know they're not superhero movies, but they're huge movies, and I think it was a complete accident, really. But they ended up creating the Barbenheimer thing.
Yeah,
it became an absolute phenomenon. It became an event cinema to go and see the two of them. So there might be an argument for somebody might be thinking, can you imagine we released two Batman films pretty much at the same time? Because people would be like, what's going on here? And then it'd be like, people would be
Batman man.
Yeah, and it'd be that someone would come up, someone smarter than me would come up with a name for it. But like, it could be like a double bill thing, and then you'd have people wanting to go to see it so that they can say, oh, this film's better than that one, you know, that kind of thing. So, I mean, I don't think that will happen, but I
wouldn't put it past Warner Brothers, mate, whatsoever. They're very reactionary. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like they've seen what that Barbenheimer thing did, and then we're just like, oh, what can we do? How can we emulate that again? Oh, well, we are going to have two Batmen in the cinema at the same time or same year, so why not release it on the same day? My God, that is a lot. That's a wet dream for me, like, but I don't think it's.
I mean, can you imagine? I'd probably do it. Would you do a double bill if that happened? Would you be there a weekend
100%.
one to watch
100%
back to back? Of course you would.
I just want a double bill of Barbie and bloody Oppenheimer, man. I'll be there day one for that.
So you heard it here first on the Total Movie Recall.
Yeah, man.
Live stream.
But Badger, I know
the Batman double bill.
Yeah, Badger, you were a fan of the Batman, weren't you? I know this big stuff isn't normally for you, but you were a fan of the Batman. How do you feel about like having two Batmen on screen at once, same year, a year apart? Is that?
I'm absolutely fine with it. I mean, I'm already used to it anyway, because I already feel like a lot of this has just been rammed down like everyone's throat, so to speak. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we quickly get another Batman real quick. So I'm already like, yes, fuck it, just give us two at the same time. It's fine. No one's going to complain. Fans are going to love it. And you know what? I'm going to be happy too. Do you know how cathartic it is to finally get on board with Batman after 30 years? Do you know how freaking awesome that is to constantly try and be upset about it? Like, oh God, I'm not feeling the same thing everyone else is. And then I saw the Batman the second it came out. I saw it at like midnight, and it finished at like 3:30 in the morning, and I wasn't complaining. I was just happy. So hopefully we're gonna get more of it. I'm gonna feel more of it. I want to finally connect with it more and more. I'm already getting a taste of what the fan base are tasting. I understand why it tastes so good. I'm so into it, and we'll see.
What's interesting is I think that the Batman and the Batman Part 2 is going to make bank, absolute bank, which means that if you throw another Batman film out the year after, even though it's not connected to it, people are going to be like, more Batman, because the Batman's so good. I can imagine Batman Part 2 is going to be just as good, if not better. So people are going to be like, I want more Batman after that. So it could work out for the best for him.
Could be.
I think you're right, Paul. I think the sensible thing to do, doing the double Batman might end up being amazing, but it is still a risk. But I think you're right. I think, as you say, part 2 will make money, and then you need people. There'll be Batman fever, and they'll have nowhere to put it until part 3 comes out. So you just slot in Batman, whatever it's called, was it Brave and the Bold? Put that in the year between. Keeps people ticking over, doesn't it?
Yeah, man.
Good point, actually. That is a damn good point. I didn't think of that, but yeah, it's true. People are going to be ravaging.
It's not the same. It's not the same story, but it just kind of like it just keeps them ticking over, doesn't it? It just feeds them.
Yeah. Real quick as well, does anyone know who the villain's going to be in the Batman 2? Is it just rumors?
Anything yet? They've not announced anything yet of it.
Okay,
if I was going to put money on it, I reckon it'd be Hush. We've already set it up.
I think it's going to be Mr. Freeze. If I was a betting man, I'd say Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, I'm hoping it will be either Mr. Freeze or Clayface. I'm hoping that just to see a very grounded, humble, realistic interpretation of those characters. Give it to me. Give it to me. That's mine. Give that to me. I'd love that.
The OG version of Clayface is like nothing like it was in like the animated series. Right? Like, he looks like a gangster. Like it's like with almost like a mask on him.
That pin suit sort of gangster, isn't it? Like,
yeah, definitely. I think that something like that could definitely work. But I'd be lying if I said like I wouldn't want a proper fantastical animated series Clayface on screen.
Andy, who do you think it's going to be?
I don't actually give it too much thought, to be honest. I think like Hush would be cool. I've read the Hush comic, so
I think about it every day.
I know.
See, I'm something, I don't see just in general. Like, I love all this stuff just as much as you guys, especially like the Batman and all that. But I don't pry for knowledge on films. Like I'm not one of these guys that's constantly looking for. Not that I'm saying you guys do, but I've got a friend you might be watching who's like, he's always on looking. He's like, oh, I've managed to find a pirated 15 minutes of the movie. I've watched it. It's great. It's amazing. And you're like, not so much these days, but back in the day, and you're like, just wait, mate. Like,
yeah.
Just wait.
Hell yeah.
Even, back then, there wasn't even like social media. It wasn't like he was doing it so that he could kind of boast or put it on and say, I know this, blah, 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 and be spoilery. It was just purely because he could not control his anticipation. But I'm kind of more like, I'm really excited for that. A bit like you, Badger, but I'll watch a trailer and that's all I'll do. I don't tend to. If it's an official source, like if it's IGN, I say not that they're official, but if it's like something like that's reputable, like IGN, Empire, Total, I'll read maybe their threads because I know they won't be too spoilery. But anything else I don't trust, just in case it wastes it for me, So I don't really speculate. I just wait for it to land on me, kind of thing.
All I'll say is never go on Reddit. Just never go on Reddit.
Yeah,
I've been burned too many times on Reddit with like spoilers and stuff like that. It's hard to escape it sometimes.
All I'll say is, what I will say is that I'd like it to be something I've not seen. Either a brand new character that they haven't touched before getting the treatment, or like they did with the Riddler, an established one getting turned on its head.
Oh yeah.
I don't really want to see something I've seen before. Basically, that's all I'm asking for.
It's funny as well because like Barry Keoghan's more or less confirmed he's going to be back. He's done a few interviews recently, obviously for like Saltburn and stuff like that, and he keeps getting asked about it, and he's like, "Oh, I can't say anything, but I've got a massive grin on my face." They need to use him sparingly, 100%.
He said what hasn't he recently?
Yeah, 100%. But yeah. Good on him though. Good on him. Like. When you hear about his backstory and stuff like that, I'm just like, yeah, man, go for it.
I see what you mean, Ellis. About Hush. I literally have never heard of the guy ever. I've never heard of Hush before, and I just looked him up and like, I see exactly why Ellis thinks that. Yeah, very grounded, somewhat relatable, and that type of thing. Yeah, I think that could definitely work. In
the Batman as well, is that in the middle section of it? There's that all that thing about his his mom and stuff like that, and people getting killed. Like, it's all a bit weird. It's all a bit. I think it's supposed to be a mess, that part, because it's sort of hinting for where things might go a little bit. But yeah, man, that is our Batman update. Then keeping with DC, not going to spend too much time on this because I haven't got that much to say, or you guys might. But it's our DC casting of Supergirl. So this one's made the rounds a little bit. James Gunn has. Oh, hang on 2 seconds, because Movie Worms just put in a comment about the Batman. Point. Maybe the Penguin TV show will hint at who the next villain is, even if it is a prequel. Just a thought. Very good thought. And I think you might be 100% right there. Definitely.
Yeah, fair play.
I don't think... Oh, I get the prequel to the Batman too. It's set after... It's slotted in between the two films, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, because this is like taking over the vacuum of Gotham.
That's a good shout, though. That could be a great way of teasing who it could be.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, how many people here have seen House of the Dragon? Have we watched
twice.
That one? Have you watched it twice?
I have.
I've not seen it twice. I've seen the series.
Yeah. So I think is it Millie Alcock who
has
been cast?
That's right. Yeah. So
I haven't got much to say about this apart from I sort of get it. She was really good in that show. I've seen a few people be upset that I can't remember the actress that played her in The Flash, but like that was never going to happen because we're starting again. It's not.
She was good.
It's not that. She was good. She just didn't have much to do in it, which was a bit of a shame. But there was a lot of stuff going on in that film. But yeah, Millie Alcock is officially Supergirl in James Gunn's DCU. I think it's quite interesting because obviously James Gunn isn't going to be directing the Supergirl movie, but he has cast Supergirl in his film. I don't think she's going to have a massive part. But this is a similar case with Wonder Woman. So Patty Jenkins ended up directing Wonder Woman, but she had nothing to do with the casting of Wonder Woman. That was all Zack Snyder. So it's sort of similar thing. But she was good in House of the Dragon. I think she'll be good here. Based off Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow, which I need to read. Tom King's a bit hit or miss for me, but I will get into that. Paul, what do you think about this new casting news, mate?
Yeah, man, I loved her in House of Dragons. That was the first thing I'd seen her in before. I think if they're going to go brand new, they need to bring in up-and-coming actors that you don't really... She's big for House of Dragon, but that's all I really know her from. So I think James Gunn casting these up-and-coming actresses is a good way of doing it. No doubt she'll have a little small part in the Superman movie to sort of introduce her, I think. But yeah, why not? She's good. She was awesome in House of Dragon, so yeah, why not?
Yeah, man. Andy, what do you think about this one, mate?
Yeah, I don't have much to say. She was good in House of Dragon, because she plays an age range for that character in House of Dragon, doesn't she? So she's not in it the whole way through.
I think she skips out about halfway through, doesn't she?
Yeah, but yeah, she was really good in that. She's got a kind of edge and a distinctive look to her. She's not. I would say the atypical kind of. She's not what they've cast in the past, which I think is always good. It's progressive, Try something a bit different. I've got 2 young girls now, so it's just good to see that I'm thinking about who their heroes are going to be. So
yeah, good point.
If I make a good kind of role model for them, someone to give them a gateway into the superhero kind of stuff. So yeah, it's just good that it's getting revamped, that it's going to be happening on the big screen, in the new DCU.
Yeah, and I think this DCU from James Gunn is definitely going to skew younger. So I don't. It's obviously not going to be Snyder's bro dark fest. Do you know what I mean? Like lots of rain and steam and angry men. But yeah, man. Badger, Supergirl. What are you saying about this? Not much.
Moving on.
I like it. still expect the
I mean, by the way, I'm not against anything. I just don't have anything to add. That's
Yeah,
all it
No,
is.
okay, right. Let's not dwell on it. It's been said. It's been said.
Right, next one is Guy Ritchie's new film. Have we all seen the trailer for this one, fellas?
Yep.
My God, Henry Cavill looks like he's having a fucking great time, doesn't he? Bloody hell. I've got to say, right, I'm not like going out my mind for this trailer, but it does look good. I got a few laughs out of it. I like the fact that Alan Richardson's in it. I want to see him in more things, definitely, after watching Reacher. But this just looks like a lot of fun. And what I'll say is like Guy Ritchie is making some moves, man. Like he's like releasing a movie like once a year, like every year. Like he's smashing it. Like last year's The Covenant was an amazing film. That was really good.
Yes, it was.
Sort of come out of nowhere, that one, a little bit for me. And is not that I wasn't a fan of. I think it's called Operation Fortune. Wasn't a fan of that one.
Yeah.
But his movie prior to that, The Wrath of Man. Me and Paul run about it last week. Really enjoyed that one. That one looks like on the outskirts. That movie looks like just your so typical generic action film, but. Yeah, but it does have a little bit of a twist in it, a little bit that I personally didn't see coming, and I ended up really enjoying it. But yeah, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Shit title.
I think it's deliberately shit, though, isn't it? That's the good gag.
It's terrible. Like before we got on stream, I was like, right, Ministry of Ungentlemanly. I can't say it. I can't say it. I'm trying to say it 6 times. I can't say it. Andy, what do you think about this one, man? Did you catch the trailer?
I've got the trailer, and I thought, yeah, it looks good. Like you say, Alan Richardson's he's a bit of a man of the moment, isn't he? Off the back of Reacher, he's getting touted for Batman and all that. In fact, he's getting touted for Terminator, isn't he? They talk about people want him cast as T-800.
That works. Not as Batman, but a new like T-1000 or whatever. That works. That's a mint shout. I love that.
But yeah, I think Guy Ritchie makes fantastic trailers.
Fantastic trailers to shit.
Fantastic. No, that's not fair. I don't mean that. Like I've not seen Wrath of Man. I need to check that out. Covenant was great, a bit unusual for him. That it was quite serious in tone,
drama,
a kind of action drama, and it was brilliant. So maybe he should do more of that. It's kind of like he's trying to blend his old kind of like British gangster comedy roots with kind of action, isn't he? That's what he's been doing with Operation Fortuna. What was that other one that he did with that was good? That had Hugh Grant in it. What's that called again?
Oh, The Gentleman.
The Gentleman. Yeah, The Gentleman. That was kind of. I felt like that was a bit of a spiritual successor to like Lock, Stock, and Snatch.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got that kind of flashy editing style that he uses, which make for good trailers. But I thought the Operation Fortuna trailer looked great, and very much the same way that this trailer looks good, which makes me think, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be good. It might be another kind of like hollow, the best stuff's in the trailer type film. But I would say that the acting talent or the star power in this is better. So maybe that's what will elevate it above like Operation Fortuna. But yeah, I'll watch it. I like Guy Ritchie. You know, I think he's a bloke's bloke, isn't he? He makes movies for guys ultimately. And there's no shame in that. You know, so I'll probably watch it.
Paul, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, looks fun. It looks like a graphic novel that doesn't exist. It sort of falls into that, even though Kingsman was a graphic novel. It looks like Mark Miller stuff, you know, Matthew Vaughn, that sort of R-rated graphic novel-esque movie. It looks fun, man. It's Guy Ritchie is, again, he, like Andy said, he's one of them directors that I don't really ever, you know, I'm never like, a new Guy Ritchie film's out, but every time I've watched all his movies, bar that Operation, whatever the hell it's called. I just missed it. Yeah, just because everyone said it was ass. But you know, every time I check a Guy Ritchie film, I'm like, it's not going to make me top 10 list, but I always have a hell of a lot of fun with his movies. And like Andy said, they are just like blokey films. Yeah, they are. So they are. Henry Cavill, looks stat cast looks funny. Great trailer. I'll check it out when it comes out.
I mean, it's just like, look at him, man. Sticking his tongue out. He's just having a great time. I love it. Absolutely love it. Badger, did you check this one out by any chance?
Yeah, I did. Just before the show started, because you sent it to me, and yeah,
Homework.
yeah. So pretty much, I'm very much enamored with the trailer. I think it looks like crazy fun. Now this isn't me adding to that whole comparing Quentin Tarantino and Guy Ritchie crap that's been going on for ages. I'm not doing that. But this is just something I need to state here. I think this looks like how I wanted Inglourious Bastards to be. I'm speaking from pure conjecture there. I don't know anything. I'm just saying it's how it looks. It looks how I wanted Inglourious Bastards to be. I'm not much of a fan of Inglourious Bastards, unpopular opinion, but I think it's passable at best. The intro is complete genius. Some of the best filmmaking I've ever seen. The bit in the middle with the basement, just incredible. But the other parts I just thought were just too slow and too boring, and I wanted a lot more of the bastards in it. I really did. I wanted it to be a lot more chaos, and I wanted it to really relish the Quentin Tarantino madness or whatever. And it didn't. And it really bothered me. I thought it was way too slow. And this, on the other hand, it looks like it's just embracing all of that lunacy. It's just fuck logic. That's what it looks. Do you know what I mean? It looks like someone with ADHD sniffed a load of cocaine and wrote a script. That's what it looks like. You know what I mean?
They should. Someone from his studio should bloody quote that Badger and put that on the Blu-ray release.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. This could be like.
Quote unquote. It looks like someone said "fuck logic" and
just on the front.
A cocaine-fueled ADHD ride.
By the way, Alice, I didn't even clock in actually until you said it out loud. You are right. That title is fucking diabolical.
Terrible.
I didn't even like fully clock in until I like actually tried to say it out loud after you said it. It just slips on your tongue like properly. Couldn't they have just called it Ungentlemanly Warfare? That's good enough.
I mean, that is what everyone will call it.
Or what about the Ministry of Warfare? Like, just take the ungentlemanly bit out. I can't say it, so.
I think ungentlemanly, but I get the impression that's key to the.
Yeah, it probably is, Andy. I just can't say it. All right. Right. Trekanaut coming in with, he's agreeing with your Badger. I'm not a fan of Inglorious. Very slow and sleep-inducing. Jesus.
Well, I think I like it more than him, so fair enough.
But then he comes back with a good one, though. Trekanaut Overlord. Yeah, baby.
That movie does slap.
That's two people sold this to me. LSU told me to watch that.
Yeah.
And now Trekanaut's mentioned it, so I'm going to get
White
on
Russell,
that,
man. Get on.
Good,
It's
man.
great
It's
film.
good.
Not too scary. Not too jump scary.
No, you'll be all right.
It's like Wolfenstein, the movie.
Yeah. Oh shit, it is as well.
Good shout.
I didn't think of that. Yeah, you're right. It's very much like Wolfenstein. It's proof right there. Actually, it's proof that Wolfenstein could make a damn good movie. Right there. I didn't think of that. Yeah, man.
So our last news topic of the night, gentlemen.
Ungentleman.
Ungentleman. I'm practicing. Okay. Right, we've got this trailer that Paul sent in the group chat the other day that sort of knocked me off my chair a little bit. I had no idea this movie was a thing. I had no idea it was coming out. But holy shit, this trailer is. I tell you what, regardless of what the movie's like, the trailer is fan-fucking-tastic. It's unbelievable. So, as far as I can tell, so this is the new movie directed, everyone, by Dev Patel, which blows my mind when you watch the trailer. I know, like Andy was saying earlier on, like people can always edit really good trailers, but they look something about this, man. Like it doesn't look like this is Dev Patel's like first feature film. I think he's done some shorts before, but oh my god, this trailer, woo! It looks unbelievable. As far as I'm aware, Jordan Peele ended up buying the rights to this film because it was just going to end up going on Netflix or something. It was going to go straight to streaming.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Jordan Peele ended up seeing it, getting wind of it. He was like, "Fuck that for a laugh. This is coming over. This is coming over to Universal."
That's exactly what he said.
And his Darlington accent.
He said, "We're putting this sucker out in the cinema," and I absolutely agree with him.
He's quoting him.
Fuck that for a laugh.
We're putting this sucker out. That's great.
Put it
I
on the
like
poster,
it.
guys.
That's charming. That is charming.
Guys, this is like instantly become one of my most hyped movies of this year. It looks crazy. It looks insane. It does have that John Wick-esque thing going on about it. It definitely does. But my God, Dev Patel. I'm a fan of Dev Patel. I have been for a long time now. Like we were talking the other day, and this isn't Jordan Peele's first time with working with someone from Skins. Funnily enough, is it Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out? It was Posh Kenneth back in the day for Skins. And you've obviously got Dev Patel here, who's in the same season as Posh Kenneth. Yeah. He was actually he was like a semi-writer for Skins as well, Daniel Kaluuya. But yeah, man, really enjoyed this trailer. Be there day one. Paul, you sent this in the group chat. What do you think about this trailer?
Yeah, man, I was just scrolling through Twitter and everyone was sharing this. It was going viral very quickly. I clicked on it. Right up my street. This is what I was saying at the top of the video. Like action movies that's my bread and butter, and the John Wick comparison's there, but that's just because John Wick is so big at the moment. It's so mainstream. It's something that a lot of casual moviegoers latched onto. That sort of John Wick-esque look at how action's filmed, even though John Wick borrows a lot of that from like Hong Kong cinema and that. But it's a formula that works. People have latched onto it now, finally, and you want to give me more of that, even though it's not John Wick. Just give me more of how that looks. I'll eat all that shit up all day long. It looks. The trailer is awesome. The fighting, the action looks awesome. Never did when I was watching Skins back in the Marvin Gaye, man. Never did I think that this dude would be doing this mad John Wick-esque, action movie in 2024. But we're here, and I'm all for it, man. Yeah, can't wait to check it out.
Yeah, totally. Andy, what did you think about this one, man?
It was a fucking slap in the face, this trailer. I thought, like, it was,
yeah.
I put it on. I think I was sitting in my car about to go in and buy a Greg's, I think, funnily enough. and the WhatsApp went off, and it was like Monkey Man. And it just the name alone, I was like, I need to watch it right now. I can't wait. I was like, what's this about? Monkey Man. And I was kind of like thrilled and terrified at the same time. You see when the mask went on, I found that quite like creepy, like
yeah. See what you mean?
Unsettling putting that mask on in a kind of Dead Man Shoes kind of way with the gas mask. That's the kind of vibe I got from it. Kind of Dead Man Shoes, like you say, Paul meets John Wick meets almost kind of like American Psycho to an extent, like and the duality aspect. I didn't really know what it was by the end. If you know what I mean, I was like, I don't really know what this movie's really going to be about, but it's obviously an action piece. But yeah, I think it's I get why people are psyched for it. The names attached to it, Jordan Peele, Dev Patel in an action role, like that's kind of brilliantly bizarre, and unexpected. Yeah. So
I think the last film I seen him in was that Green Knight.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the last film I seen him in.
I've not watched that. I want to watch it, but a lot of people. It seems to be very Marmite, that film. People either seem to love it.
I didn't
think it's an instant classic, or like you say, Paul, they think it's just like well overhyped and too slow and boring.
I enjoyed it, but if you know it's a slow burn going in, just be prepared for it. It's not Mandy slow, but it is slow burn. Like
I think I went. I think I watched it coming off The Northman because I just wanted something like that.
Yeah.
I was like looking for something similar to that, and people saying try The Green Knight, and I watched it. I was like, yeah, this ain't The Northman.
Yeah.
What would you say? I'm just curious, Paul, like because I know your taste. So what was it that what was the negatives for you?
It sounds cliche, but it just felt one of them fucking artsy fartsy films, and it was dragging its balls along. And I was like, man, come on, give me some Conan shit or something, man. Let's go.
Just a bit too. So do you think it was like too?
It was too. It felt like a pretentious movie, and they're the movies I sort of I don't gel with.
Do you think it was maybe a mix of you going in expecting a modern day Conan and getting
I don't know what I honestly don't know what I was expecting with it. I just remember as soon as I'm checking my phone, that's when I know I'm checked out of a film.
Yeah,
and I was doing it multiple times. Like I'm bored of this, but you know, it's just me. Isn't it? It's my,
you know, a film that was loved by everyone that I was like that with was that every I can't even say it now.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, the first 20 minutes I thought, I get it, this is amazing. I get why people like this. It's quirky, it's edgy, it's great. And then just once it started getting into the proper multiverse stuff, I just like
it throws a lot at you.
It threw a lot at me. I don't know if it just overstimulated me, but I just
wow.
What pissed me off? People say it's a better multiverse film than Spider-Man. I was like, no, it's not. No, it isn't.
I don't know if I agree, but at the same time, it's a damn good argument, and I get why they're saying that.
I think I'll have another go at it, but I kept falling asleep during it because
that's not a good sign.
Yeah. Although I think the first 20 minutes was like good, but I don't know.
Never.
So that is it for our news segments of the night, guys. Now we're going to get into some Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, I'm excited for Monkey Man. Definitely, I'm excited for Monkey Man.
Oh shit! Sorry, Banjo.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
No.
I was bantering.
Did you actually watch the trailer though?
Yeah, I saw it when it was not even 10 minutes old. It just the algorithm caught me. I saw it.
So you're hyped for it? Are you in?
Yeah, I was only joking. I'm not really that fussed to talk about it.
No,
anyway,
talk about it.
Anyway,
I need to be pulled up on this shit, man.
Not really. It's all jiggy. Pretty much the main guy. That Patel. What was it? Danny Patel. Oh God.
Dev Patel.
Whatever. Either way. Yeah, he's writing, directing it, and starring in it. And Jesus Christ, to do all of that with a film that insane, that's so much effort. Like, fair play to him. Even if I don't end up liking the film, how can you not respect that? That's just incredible work that he's put into it. Looks quirky, looks charming. These films can be hit or miss because, I'm sorry, guys, but I really hated John Wick 4. But sometimes they can work out well for me.
I think you said a couple of weeks ago, Badger, that it's just there's these people brewing movies. You know, people have got these movies brewing in their brains, and it's, you know, there's all these young actors out there have got these movie ideas, and Jordan Peele's took a chance on this movie, and it looks awesome.
Yes, I agree. The plus he came from Skins, and that's fucking madness as well. Even more.
That is the most 2000 show ever.
It is balling as well. Do you guys know the character J.J. Jones? J.J. Jones from Skins, who's a side character. Okay, he's a side character from season 3 on. And I'm not kidding. I was in his class for years at school when I was like little kid. So seeing him grow up and make something of himself, it's lovely. He was such a sweet kid that was always getting put down by our dickhead teacher all the time. But I'm like, good for you, buddy. You proved that teacher wrong. He was such a sweet kid, so I'm happy for his success. But that's just a quick side thing. Anyway, go on.
Right, guys. Main topic of the night. We're not going to spend ages on this because I'm keeping track of the time, and I want to keep this timekeeping up there. And not many people are commenting now, so we can do this. I just checking out. Was agreeing with us about Overlord. Overlord is basically live action Wolfenstein. Yeah, man.
I do not need your stink on my name. That's a reference to anyone who's played it. You'll know if you played it.
Right.
I played the Wolfenstein games, bizarrely. Just never got around to it.
Good man.
Here we go.
Badger, you having a cigarette?
I agree. I'm big, bad, and cool.
It's weird. You don't really see many people smoking anymore.
So retro to actually have a cigarette these days.
I know, yeah.
I'm keeping it alive, ironically, whilst killing myself.
Right, guys. Just first off, before we get into this, sort of quick thoughts on Denis. For me, if I'd say like sort of like overall, Chris Nolan is our like number one peak director right now, working director. Like everything he sort of touches turns to gold. I think he's got respect from audience and his colleagues alike. I think number two in that slot could well be Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Now, total disclaimer right now, I haven't seen the first two movies on this list. The only films I've seen from Denis Villeneuve is his English language films. Before Enemy, he had Insidious and Polytechnic, which I had no idea that was even a film, to be honest. So that's my bad on that front. Haven't watched them. Guys, have any of you seen his non-English language films?
Oh, sir.
No. So we're going
Off
to
to
put
a
them...
cracking start. If anyone's in the chat, does anyone want to chime in?
Yeah, if anyone's in the chat have seen these films and they want to put them in a category, I'll swap them. But right now they're going in not seen. These are films that I'll get round to watching. Just didn't do it for this stream. Sorry.
Dude, look at this guy's body of work. How can you not want to watch his older films? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like 6 films here, when you're just looking at him in a row, you're just like, wow, these are all bangers. All bangers. There's not going to be much discussion here, probably, but yeah, we'll start off with Enemy. Paul, you haven't seen this one, have you?
No,
Enemy.
so I'll check out for this. I'll just listen to what you guys say. Sell it to me, guys. Sell it to me.
Well, yeah. Andy, didn't you watch this one quite semi-recently?
Maybe about a year ago, anyway. Maybe 2 at the most.
Right. Yeah. As far as Enemy goes, for me, I think it's awesome as like his first like foray in American Hollywood and stuff.
You know what I mean?
And getting someone like Jake Gyllenhaal to maybe he's not one of Jake Gyllenhaal's best performances, but the fact he's playing these dual roles, like there's nothing mega extreme going on with the roles, but he's playing them really well. The film is just like a bit of a fever dream, personally, I think, especially when you get to that end credits scene, which we won't ruin here because Paul hasn't seen it. But yeah, it gets crazy, doesn't it? That end, like it just leaves you with a lot of questions, I would say. But
oh god, yeah.
For me personally, when it comes to Enemy, I would put this good. I would put it halfway between good and great, but probably more good. But that's just me. Andy, what are you saying about Enemy?
I thought Enemy was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was really clever. I like. It's a film that certainly has. It's one of those films you kind of take from it what you kind of see, but I felt that it kind of spoke to me, and I just kind of got it. I got it in my own head. Well, I don't know if it's what you're definitively supposed to take from it, but I really like the themes and the kind of duality. And it was my mate Chris who he came in one night and he was like, "We're watching Enemy because I'm really interested to know what you think of this." So he'd seen it. And he didn't tell me anything about it. He just
oh shit!
And then we had a really good proper chat about it at the end, and kind of discussed the themes and stuff. And between us, I think we got quite a solid kind of thing to take from it. But Paul's not seen it, so it's difficult for me to really I'd love to deep dive and give you my theories on it and stuff. But but to try and keep it brief without spoiling it, it's like it's a film about, I think, self-sabotage and human beings sometimes natural desire to self-destruct.
What are you talking about?
Enemy. Not so much in a smoke yourself to death way, but in a physical sense, but more in a kind of social sense, like just to kind of throw your life away sometimes. But yeah, and it's one of those ones that's like, obviously there's a whole duality thing going on, and Jake Gyllenhaal plays kind of like two versions of himself. Won't spoil it, but it's all about perception and reality, and you get a perception, and then at the end you get a reality.
Is it one of them films where I'll finish it and go, "Oh, the fuck went off in that film," but I liked it?
I think you will,
Possibly.
Definitely.
If you were falling asleep during it, you'll definitely be awake at the end. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
It's hard. Like, I'd love to just go right into it and talk more, but I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, I just thought that it was like very cleverly crafted, and it leaves a lot to the imagination. But it's not too cryptic. I don't think it's too cryptic. You will get the theme of it, I think.
Was this movie like big when it come out? Because I don't even remember it being. I remember Prisoners being a lot more popular. That was the first film I watched of his. I don't remember anyone really talking about this when it came out.
I think because though that like they're two very different films. Like it's a little bit more of an independent kind of arty film, I would say. It's not like Prisoners is a definitive crime kind of drama crime thriller. Has a definitive ending that there's nothing
ambiguous.
It has an ending, and that's it. Yeah, there's nothing kind of like, and I'll leave this to your interpretation. So those kind of films appeal more to the masses, and I would say that genre in general, like the kind of crime thriller, kind of whodunit mystery. So I think that's why Prisoners is a great film. I think that's why that was the one that really is his first film in people's eyes, you know. But Enemy is definitely worth circling back for. I think, but it may be one of those ones you might watch it and think, a wee bit too arty-farty, but I enjoyed it.
Where would you put it in the tier scale, Andy?
I'd put it in great. Comfortably in great. Yeah.
Right.
But,
Badger. Sorry, mate. Go on.
I was going to say like that, but that doesn't mean it belongs in great.
Yeah, Badger. What are your feelings on Enemy?
First of all, Ellis, I'll put it exactly where you put it. More like pushing toward good. I'm exactly with you, Ellis. Exactly with you. So this film, I think you can recommend it, but you have to give some type of warning, because it's not like a film I can easily recommend, because this is one of those films where it is polarizing, and justifiably so. Pretty much, this is one of those films where it's not straightforward at all. It encourages you to analyze it. It does not spoon feed you at all. It is cryptic, in my opinion. At least it's very cryptic. But if you work it out and do study it like crazy, then yeah, it encourages you to do it. Now, of course, not everyone's into that. And fair play. At the end of the day, we don't all want to sit there and just constantly overanalyze and get a load of nonsensical scenes and characters not acting the way you think they're supposed to. But with that being said, it doesn't always happen like this. It's a rare thing to get a film like this that invites you to study it like this. And it's very reminiscent of another Jake Gyllenhaal film, Donnie Darko. Obviously, that film was very bloody cryptic, but this one, I think it's a lot more than that. I think it's a lot more cryptic and a lot more confusing than Donnie Darko, in my opinion. So I do think you got to be careful about it. Don't go thinking you're going to get something that you're not, because holy moly. But it is quite special, and it's definitely the outcome of pure intelligence. Artsy fartsy, that's a pretentious artsy fartsy thing to say, but I think it's true in this case. Yeah, very clever filmmaking, very intelligent. Jake Gyllenhaal is bloody wonderful in it, and yeah, I really appreciate him in it, big time. So yeah, I like it.
Where would you put it on the tier, mate?
Exactly where you put it, mate. So yeah, in between good and great, pushing more toward good, I'd say.
Right. I think we'll go
dead quick as well. What an ending! I mean,
yeah, it's got a great end. I think out of all his films, this film demands the most discussion after it. So whether you like that sort of thing or not, like I love watching a film with my partner, and me and her can just dissect it after it, and you know, try and answer the questions that it was providing in the film. I'd go for Denis here. I'd go good. I'd go the top end of good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as far as his next film goes, Prisoners, holy shit. So Paul, have you seen Prisoners?
I have, but I've only seen it once when it first
Okay.
come out, and it was before I really knew who this director was. I'm a fan of his work now, but I've never gone back to revisit this. Don't know why. I just haven't. I've seen all the other four we'll talk about numerous times, so I can dive more into that. But I remember at the time thinking it was great. I love crime thrillers anyway. Statcast Paul Dano is amazing in it. Gyllenhaal, Hugh Jackman's fantastic. I do remember it being a bit ambiguous, this, but I can't remember why. I remember
I don't think it is at all.
No, I tell you what, I remember it being a great film, so I won't take up too much time because I can't really remember it, but I'll let you guys speak again because I'll be able to talk more about the other ones afterwards.
Yeah, I think, Paul, what it is, right, is that I don't think the ending's completely satisfying. I think that's for me, like it's good up until the end, sort of thing, a little bit. I don't know. That's just my opinion of it. That's my opinion of it. Like when you finally find like the reveal of like the car and stuff like that, then the underground sort of, I don't know, didn't fully work for me, if I'm being honest.
Oh damn. Okay.
And I don't know why, because it is something that should work. I just think the way the film lays out its events, Judy, I that's not where I was going exactly with it, but that's maybe my expectations failing me again. I think this film, apart from that bit, is fantastic, though. I think this film really is propelled by its performances, mainly Hugh Jackman and Paul Dano. They are absolutely phenomenal, and I'll never, ever, ever, ever forget the toilet scene where he's got him like in the bath and stuff like that. Then the whole, you know, who else is really good in it? Is it who is the? Is it Cuba Gooding Jr.? Am I getting that right?
Is he in it?
Am I right? Am I right there, Badger?
Yeah.
Seen it in ages.
He's phenomenal. He's phenomenal in it, and he doesn't have a massive part, but like he can see the insanity that's going on in front of him, and it affects me. But
I've
yeah,
just brought the cast. I've just brought the cast, and he's not. You're talking about Terrence Howard.
Yeah, I was. Thank you. I was about to say, Jesus Christ! Oh man, we've done that whole thing. We've done that whole thing, that whole Lawrence Fishburne mixing up with Samuel Jackson. We've done it. Oh no, we're going to hell, man.
But I really enjoy this. I like this sort of like subject. It's weird saying subject matter, but I do really like abduction films and stuff like that. And when it gets really dark and horrible and 70 like David Finchery, but yeah, I thought this, and David Desmalchin, not a big role, but like he always brings his weirdness to every film. I love that he's getting way more work nowadays. Jake Gyllenhaal is Detective Loki, really good in it. This is a really solid one from Denis, and I think this was the film that really sort of propelled him, and people were like, whoa, hang on a minute, Enemy was really good. And Prisoners is like really good, but it's almost in a weird way made it more accessible, Prisoners, in a way, for the larger audience. But if it was me, this is a firm great. Andy, what do you think about this one, mate? And I'll be back in 2 seconds, guys. I won't be a sec.
Yeah, it was somewhere between great and awesome. Like I remember, I don't think similar to Paul, I don't think I really knew who Denis Villeneuve was when I watched this. Or it might even have been that. See, I think Sicario might have been the first film I've seen of his, but I might not even have realised who he was. I just watched it, thought that was great, and then I think it was maybe Blade Runner was announced, which was massive for me. And then I was like, oh, it's and the name. I was like, where did I know that from, kind of thing. And I've circled back, and I'm like, oh, Sicario, oh, this should be awesome. And then I've discovered that Prisoners is well thought of. I think that's how the order I watched it in. But anyway, I thought it was fantastic, just a brilliant thriller. And you know, it was interesting to see your reaction there, Badger, when Ellis was saying he didn't rate the ending, because I thought the ending was brilliant. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Because I don't know what it is. The film is so dark and serious, it's been a while since I've seen it, so my memory's a bit foggy. I'm going off like my emotions throughout the film, but it's dark, it's serious. The performances are powerful, believable, very emotionally charged. You know, the bathroom scene that Elsa spoke about. That's tense to watch. That's hard to watch, but it's believable and it sucks you in because you think that probably is how someone would potentially deal with someone that's you think is taking your kid. And it's so dark and kind of gloom and serious that you're always going down the road of this is going to end terribly. Like this film's just not good. This film's going to be bleak throughout, and then when you don't expect it, there's like a kind of unexpected ray of hope happens at the end, which worked for me because I thought you're just beaten up in that film. You're beaten up. You're compressed out. You're compressed emotionally.
It's earned.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you get it, it was satisfying. And it wasn't expected. So for me, I actually thought the ending was really, really good, and a massive release of all the tension that I feel had been deliberately created by Denis to that point. So I would say it was like I'd be comfortable to even put it in like lower end awesome, because another interesting thing is what I'll say is it's like my mates know I'm like the movie guy out of my kind of circle of friends. I'm sure it's the same for you guys. They know I'm like I've got this channel and all the rest of it. And I would say most of my mates are casual movie fans. The one that they always text me about of his catalogue, whether they know or not, is always Prisoners. They'll always say, "Oh, Andy, have you seen a film called Prisoners? Absolutely amazing." Wow. And then I'll say, "Oh, see if you like that, you should check out Sicario 2049 and stuff." And then they're like, "Nah, not really interested." You know, or they often check out Sicario, but they're not interested in the sci-fi stuff. You know,
I feel like Prisoners has been on Netflix for the longest time, and loads of people have discovered it through that. Because I still get people going, "Have you seen Prisoners?" I have, but people are still discovering that movie now, which is awesome.
I think when it comes to Denis, people like work backwards almost. It's like they watch like one of his like newer films and like, "Oh, what else has this guy done?" And go back.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah. But yeah, Prisoners. I don't know. I don't know where I'm feeling Prisoners. It's great or awesome.
Sleep on it.
It's going in awesome. Right. Our Badger,
this is a weird one, man.
Badger, did you speak about Prisoners or not? Sorry.
No, I haven't really.
Again,
yeah, pretty much, man. I think he's just taking on bold, man. Like, that's what it is right there, man. Motherfucker, man. What the fuck? You see one, and then you think you see two.
Mate, I'll be there. I'll probably be there by the end of the year. I'm losing all my hair, man.
It's pretty much, this one is a bit peculiar for me, Prisoners, because by the way, I'm pretty much exactly where Andy is. Well, pretty much the weird thing for me is that when I first saw it, I saw it just after Enemy. Definitely preferred it to Enemy, but the weird thing was that I forgot about it, just like Paul. Strange. I didn't know why. Don't know why. But then I rewatched it about 2 years ago just to be like, what the hell has it been like? You know, all these years I've forgotten about it when I knew I liked it a lot. Checked it out, and it was genuinely like watching it again for the first time. I don't know how I'd forgotten about pretty much like the reveals and stuff. I really did forget the reveals. Saw it again, and it was like, how could I? How dare I forget this? This is freaking balling, man. Hugh Jackman, man, like. If this isn't his best performance ever, I don't know what is. It's outstanding. I saw his performance with that beard and all that, and I was like, dude, this guy needs to be Joel in Last of Us. But we know how that ended up. Yeah, he was great in it. Jake Gyllenhaal was just fantastic. I'm so glad that he got Gyllenhaal from Enemy straight onto this, and it was fantastic. And it's just great. Paul Dano, the whole ensemble cast were fantastic, and it's such a human story. Seeing what these normal human beings would do when someone they love is screwed up. I'm saying it now. I don't have any kids myself, and I'm never having children. But if I ever do, you bet your ass I'm going to do what Hugh Jackman does. If someone kidnapped one of my dogs, I'd bloody go. I'd be doing that. Do you know what I mean? Let alone a kid. Like
John
Jesus
Wick.
Christ. Hey,
the John Wick.
Yeah.
John Wick about.
Yes, no, a more realistic version of John Wick in the sense I get tired after one punch, but that's a different story. Either way, though, yeah, it's a it's a human story that I think is relentlessly depressing but very powerful, and the reveals in it, certain twists that are revealed toward the end, I think they're very, very well fleshed out, very well earned. And Jesus Christ, just like Enemy, the last 10 seconds really get to you in a different way. Obviously, the last 10 seconds of Enemy just make you go. But Prisoners isn't like that. The last 10 seconds of that is just like, I think it's just fantastic. The last 10 seconds of Prisoners, I think, is just brilliant writing right there. Absolutely fantastic. What a fucking brilliant film this is, man. What a fantastic film. How could I forget it after I first saw it? Love it.
You're making me want to watch it again.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna have to rewatch
I was
it.
thinking
Really.
the same,
Yeah.
It's
Why don't
probably-
I have it behind me? I don't have it behind me. What the fuck is up with that? I need
don't
to
have
get
it.
that, man.
I keep seeing it, and I think because, like Paul said, it's been on Netflix for so long. Every time I've seen it, I've thought, "Oh, it's fine if I fancy it, I'll watch it on streaming," and I've just put it off. But I'll need to get it.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal, he's usually the guy who just steals the show, but in that film, Hugh Jackman just donned him, and that's saying something.
There's a lot of good performances in it, and I don't want to disregard Jake Gyllenhaal either, because he does put some like little like he's got that little tick, hasn't he, in his eye and stuff like that. He puts these little flourishes in his acting in that film, and I think it's just awesome. Like,
I think it's another. It's one of those performances where he's the vessel for the viewer. I think like he does bring something unique to it, but he's the eye. He's the eye for the people watching it. You're kind of along for the ride with him.
Yeah,
totally.
His next movie, Sicario. Right, so this one's a big one for me. This is like when I first watched it sort of blew my mind a little bit, and this was really the film. Don't get me wrong, I'd seen Enemy and I'd seen Prisoners, both enjoyed them, but when he hit with Sicario, and he's like really diving into another genre here, he's really revealing his cards as a director and what he can do and bring to the table. And I just think it's a really interesting like take on like another government film about the army and what they get up to and stuff like that, and the FBI and all that stuff, and how it's all integrated. But then you've got Benicio del Toro's character, who's like doesn't say much. You don't really know what he's about, and when you finally work out that he's like, I don't know, how would you describe his character? He's basically working for the Colombian, like, what is it? The Colombian drug cartel, basically. He's not part of the cartel, but he's like the mediator of it. Like, how to describe this? Andy, could you probably describe this one better about Benicio del Toro's character? I'm misguided by what his character, like his actual profession, because he's not like, he isn't employed by the U.S. Army, or he is employed by the U.S. Army, but he works. I think
the point of his character is you're not supposed to know where his allegiances lies. He's sort of in for himself, isn't he?
Yeah, because like Emily Blunt's trying to work him out the entire film. Then he's obviously got his other side, his real objective by the end of the film that like Emily Blunt stumbles on. She realizes that this is all like set up for a bigger part, and she wants nothing to do with it, basically. But I thought this was an amazing film. I've like from the get-go, that first sequence in the house where nothing much really happens, but everywhere down to like peeling the plaster off the walls, and the whole house is full of bodies like in the walls and stuff like that. And the awesome scene that comes out of nowhere. But once you've seen it once, that explosion, and you see like the cops just go into the shed in the background and stuff like that, it's an awesome scene. Then you get to the bridge scene, which is one of the most tense, awesome sequences going, and it's got an awesome score behind it as well. It's the track that's playing on that bridge sequence, and the before it, like leading up to it, is called The Beast, and it's so fitting. It's awesome, man. But Sicario is just an amazing film. I love it. I love the score. I love the way it looks. I like the fact that the problem with Sicario is like I recommended this film to my brother, and my brother like wasn't into it. He thought it was too slow because you look at the poster and you probably think it's going to be like this like 2-hour action epic, but it's actually got a bit more to say to that than that. I love Sicario. I think it's the film that really propelled Denis Villeneuve into the stratosphere for everyone. And I think this is the film that was like the film heads were like, hang on a minute, we've got to keep an eye on this bloke. But Sicario, I'm a massive fan of Sicario. I would put Sicario on awesome as well. Paul, what do you think about Sicario, mate?
Oh, mate, I'm going to be gushing about the next 4 films here. But Sicario is, for me, it's a 10 out of 10 movie. It's flawless. Yeah. What a cast, man. Del Toro, Blunt, Brolin, John Bernthal. John Bernthal's characters, he's menacing that film, but he's awesome in it. I'm a big fan of like Mexican cartel sort of films and documentaries anyway. I love all that shit. It is a slow burn movie, but it warrants it when it hits. That bridge scene, like you said, man, it's a big build up and you're on the edge of your seat. You do not know what is about to happen. Yeah. And it reminds me of that scene in Heat, you know, the bank robbery scene, Heat, where it feels so real. Like every gunshot, you can hear the impact of everything, and it feels like you're there with them. Great story. It's loads of twists and turns. You don't know who to trust, whose allegiance with who. All round 10 out of 10 movie for me. I think it's absolutely amazing. It is the movie where I was like, I know I'm going to be following this guy's career. Villeneuve's career going forward. Love it. Top knocks. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, man. Badger, Sicario.
This one is a bit interesting for me, Sicario. So as you know, Ellis, a man tried watching that constantly, and I kept failing at it. I kept starting it, and I'd always get about 30 to 40 minutes in, and I would just zone out of Sicario after a good 40 minutes, and I didn't like that. I wanted to keep watching it because I knew there was something special about it. First of all, and this isn't hyperbole, no sense of slang or exaggeration, in my opinion, Sicario has one of the greatest intros I've seen in the film of the past 10 years or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like that intro is outstanding. It's incredibly exciting, gripping, but so disturbing. I made the mistake of watching it when I was eating, and I felt pretty ill. I was like, yeah, I shouldn't be eating. I'm not even trying to be funny. I mean it. Seeing all these coppers like vomiting because they've just seen a load of dead bodies buried in the walls. Oh God. Messed with my head. I was like, yeah, I shouldn't be eating during this. And so yeah, I noticed that, and I also noticed that Jesus Christ, Emily Blunt is acting in this film. I knew that. But with that being said, as time went by, I just sucked my energy dry. And I tried about four times in the span of like 2 years to watch that film, and I couldn't do it. So finally, I was about a year ago, I said, sod it, just plow through, just finish it, Badger. You keep restarting it for a reason.
Yeah.
Finally did get to the end, and you know what? Even though I definitely don't love it, damn man, it's got some brilliance in it, and I'm glad I stuck through that midpoint because there are some great bits. That ending is fantastic, and also it's also worth noting as well. Just real quick, I don't talk about it on any of these videos, any of my videos much, but I am a writer, and I do write my own stories, and I want to go to film school soon for it. In plenty of the online film classes that I've been doing and stuff, it's always been Sicario in prison. It's like studying how to write characters. It has been literally, they've been referenced a lot. And my favorite part is that there are many different types of arcs that characters can have. And there's been a point used for Emily Blunt's character. Her type of arc is called a disillusionment arc, I think it's called, where your character's hungry for the truth. And when they find it, that truth sucks. It fucking sucks. That's been the point that they used for Emily Blunt's character. Yeah. And they're not joking. When I finally watched the film, I was like, I see exactly what they mean. It is a horrible thing to discover that, you know, like she's there trying to hold the law, trying to be the good guy 100%. But then she learns that, hey, in order to be the absolute good guy in a world full of shit like that, you have to break some rules and turn into a bit of a monster. And yeah, Del Toro's character at the end. Yeah, I like the film. I don't love it like everyone else, but I will say that I'm not in a rush to see the second one, simply because, even though I've heard great things, Emily Blunt's not in it.
It's nowhere near as good.
I'm not interested because she's not in it. So yeah, I'd say it's about good. I'd say.
One other thing I just want to add about Sicario as well is how good he implements the subplot with the police officer. So like throughout the whole film, you've got the police officer and he keeps getting breakfast, doesn't he? And he's like, his sons always want to play football and stuff, and just how that goes through the entire film, and you're like, where the hell is this going? But it just circles round so perfectly near the end. For me, Sicario is awesome. That's where I would put it, guys. Where we put Sicario? Where do we think?
Andy, have you seen it?
Oh shit! Sorry, Andy. Have you not?
He's mixed up the bald guys again. He's mixed up the bald guys again.
I'm gonna have to have a tick, like a check off this. Like,
Andy, you're turned off, by the way, dude. You're turned off.
Oh no, sorry. I had to disappear there to deal with one of the girls.
No dramas.
But yeah, no. I sound like a broken down record here, but it's another awesome one for me. I genuinely think there's a controversial one movie coming up for me, so it's not all going to be awesome. But yeah, I think Sicario, for many of the reasons that have been stated already, it's like exemplary. That scene in the bridge, as Badger said, I've watched videos on it. It gets used as a bit of a like modern day example of how to create tension and release in a film. The actual action element of that is over, and I think it's something like 4 seconds or something ridiculous. Like there's 20 minutes of build up, and then the release is like short, sharp, no music, gunfire. It's all done and dusted in like 4 seconds. The way it probably would happen, that's exactly what would happen in real life. Gunfights aren't like John Wick style that go on forever and it's mag changes and all that. It's guys at that level. It's going to be bang bang dead. That's it. Move on. Like let's get out of here, kind of thing.
Andy was in the army, for the record, guys. Andy was in the army, so he knows his shit. We got to shut the fuck up.
Not I'm fucking doing like secret service raids into Mexico.
Yeah, he actually doesn't like movies. Andy actually hates movies. He's just undercover right now.
Yeah.
That's it.
But it's just it's an excellent film. It's really cool. Like you nailed it, but I just talked about the disillusionment arc. You put it better than I could have, but that's exactly what happens. More so, I mentioned it for Jake Gyllenhaal's character in Prisoners, but you're very much a vessel. You are Emily Blunt also.
Oh yeah,
you go in there not knowing anything about this world, and she's in a world where she's frustrated because she's within the boundaries of like conventional law enforcement. And like you say, she's hungry. She's like, oh yeah, I'm with the big boys and I'm going to make some difference, some change here. But she doesn't realise how much she's going to have to morally compromise herself. And then even to an extent, you've got Josh Brolin, who's cool as anything. Like he's got the Crocs on in that scene straight away. You know what you're dealing with. That's the guy that's seen that much and knows that the system doesn't work. That he's not going to conform to it. Not even in a meeting is he going to conform to it. He's putting Crocs on because he knows it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like all the bureaucracy bullshit, the stuff he's doing matters and is dark and it's nasty. But not even he can go to the levels that Benicio del Toro can go to. And that, that's where I like all that element, where the CIA do their dirty work, but they don't want to do the really dirty work. That's when they'll outsource. Like, let's get someone in who's even more motivated than us to do the really nasty shit. And that's when it starts to get murky, and then they can plausibly deny it and stuff. I really enjoyed all that, the kind of political side of it. So I think it's awesome. It's a film of set pieces, isn't it? It's got clear set pieces. It's got lulls where it builds, and then there's releases throughout.
Yeah.
But yeah, another absolute banger. And what a 4K Blu-ray it is, by the way.
I believe it. I
Still
believe
haven't
it.
got it on 4K.
Looks absolutely superb, the audio and visual quality on it. In fact, I think it actually has on the Blu-ray, on the cover. Are you familiar with AV forums? That do they do home cinema reviews and stuff like that. They're a big British online forum community, AV forums, and it's actually got an AV forum sticker on it saying that it's like
approved.
Their reference award. I've not seen any other film with that on it. So there you go.
Well, I'll say this dead quick. The film did make a very quick and simple, innocent line, just completely disturbing. Del Toro holding the gun. Go ahead and finish your meal. That scene is fucking horrifying, man. Like, it is, man. That almost matches the opening scene. Damn, man. It is very clever. I'm not as much of a fan of it as you guys, but it is so clever. It's so clever, and I'm glad I powered through and finished that film. I was right. I was missing out with that bad boy. Very clever.
So, moving on to our next feature here, we're going well sci-fi now. Andy, why do you hate Arrival?
How did you know that? How did you guess that?
Yeah, I guessed it. I guessed that too. I worked that out as soon as he said it wasn't going to be popular later on. I was like, well, it's not going to be Blade Runner.
I agree with you here, but I don't hate it by any stretch, by the way, at all. But it might be my least favorite film I've seen of his. I remember seeing this with my partner, Georgia. She 100% fell asleep halfway through it, and she's like, I'm never going to watch that film ever again. I'm like, no, you should finish it, man. Like, the whole point is to get to the end, and when you realize what the whole film's about, what you've been watching, it might blow your mind, or you might just fall asleep again. But yeah, Andy, go on. What's your thoughts on Arrival?
Same as Georgia, mate. Kept falling asleep. It's just too slow, visually sleek, but uninteresting at the same time. The entity alien thing that's unique, and kind of not really seen that before, admittedly. But it's still not. I don't know. It's like looking at it's like going into a modern art gallery and looking at something and going, and for the first 5 minutes you go, that's quite cool. Yeah, someone's like throwing paint at the wall. I get it. But I don't want to watch that for 2 hours. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, I feel like there's a lot of that in it. And I know it all ties round at the end, but I just ran out of steam. By the time I got to the end, it wasn't enough for me to look back and go, oh, I'm glad I stuck with it all that time. So I'm not saying it's a terrible movie or anything. I get why people like it. Maybe I need to go back and revisit it. But it was just the most... I think Arrival was the last one I watched. So obviously, I'd watched it before Dune, but it was the last Villeneuve movie I watched prior to Dune. So in the order I watched them in. And I was, by this point, I knew what he was capable of, and I thought Arrival's going to be right up my street sci-fi. And it just was a bit of a disappointment. But yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad film, but just didn't resonate with me. That was all.
Okay, Alice, you can get rid of Andy now.
Mate, I'm not far off Andy's opinions on it, to be fair.
Well, you can go to then. Me and Paul will do that.
Yeah, it's just not rewatchable for me. Like, it looks beautiful and stuff, and score's good and stuff like that, but this one's another one where the realism of it sort of doesn't excite me really. I like the concept of, like, you know, getting Amy Adams, who's like this expert in language, and like, how would we dissect an alien's language if they came to Earth? Do you know what I mean? I think that is an interesting question in itself, but not one that needs like a 2-hour movie wrapped around it. And the whole thing with Jeremy Renner and that whole sort of twist near the end when you realize what sort of you've been watching, I don't know how it really flies with me, if I'm being honest. It gives me the same sort of feelings that the end of Interstellar does with Matthew McConaughey, when he's like, you know, like telling Murph like he's pushing the books out, and it all just gets a bit weird, and he did it for love sort of thing. It like gives me the same sort of feelings as the end of Interstellar for whatever reason. But yeah, I'm not like a huge fan of Arrival at all, to be fair. Like, I don't mind it. I don't hate it. Not a bad film. Just compared to the rest of his catalogue that I've seen, this is like way lower down on the list for me. But yeah, Badger, what do you think about this one, mate?
I think I'm starting to sweat with anger.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, pretty much, I guess I prefer Prisoners, but that's not an obvious one. I fucking love this film. I really, really, really do. I definitely love it a lot more than I'm loving you and Andy right now. I won't lie, I'm getting a bit heated now. Banter aside, all the banter aside, I understand actually, because I admit it does have its faults. The Jeremy Renner character didn't need to be in the film. He was very underdeveloped, and I thought he just offered a bit of too much of a distraction for me at times. Brilliant actor, obviously, but he was a bit underused, and it was very slow paced. And I do get how that can bother some people, but it sparked my imagination in a big bad way. For once, we've got an alien movie where the aliens do not look like us, which is not. It's such a rare thing. They often always look like us. I'll give an excuse for the xenomorphs because they come from us, but that's about it. For the most part, they always look like us, and it makes no sense. These ones are like, holy shit. They look very different, and they function so differently to us. They don't perceive time like we do at all. They don't look at it linearly like we do. They can see the future and the past, all of it. That whole dissecting their language, all of it, and the way it's shot is beautiful. It's fantastic, man. For me, I thought it was the themes of communication. Jesus Christ, like, it just got to me, and that twist ending I thought was fantastic. Yeah, wonderful stuff. I think that film is absolutely fantastic, and it's dead close to being my favorite one, but it might be my favorite one that this guy's done. Maybe, just maybe. Wonderful. I love it.
So does this go in awesome for you? Is this an awesome?
Absolutely.
An awesome. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Paul, where are we at on Arrival, my friend?
Yeah, man, I'm probably going to echo Badger there. I went into this film thinking it was going to be one thing and walked out completely blown away. I think what really holds this film together for me is the twist and the ending and the message that it delivers at the end. It takes a lot for me to get emotional. I don't really get emotional watching romancy films and that. It's when something makes me walk out the cinema or walk out when I watch film first time, maybe think about things. And the way, I like it when I can ask myself the question that the film's asking me: what would you do with your life if you knew where your life was going? Would you change it and stuff like that? Same with it like Interstellar. That's why I like the ending of Interstellar. It sort of asks the question, when McConaughey's character sees his mum, would you leave her to go and start a new, or sees his mum, sees his daughter who's older and stuff like that. I like putting myself in the shoes of when films are asking you questions like that.
Yeah, man.
And I cried. I'm pretty sure I drew a tear at the end of this film. I'm not even going to lie. I loved it. I think it's an amazing piece of science fiction. It is a slow burn. If you're going in there wanting Independence Day, you ain't getting that. which I'll be honest, I did go into that thinking sort of it's gonna be like a new sort of like Independence Day movie, and I walked out with such just googling. When you're getting home, you're googling the meaning of the ending and other people's interpretations of it and that. But yeah, I think it's a great movie. It's not one you can stick on, to pass the time, but it is one I've watched maybe 2 or 3 times. Every time I walked away just satisfied and asking that question, like if you could, see your future, how the heptapods do in the movie, like that's how they perceive time. Would you change things in your life, or what would you do differently and stuff like that? So I think it's got a great message to it. I think it's a great film. I think it's underrated.
Oh, really? Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I think it's very underrated. I don't really hear many people talk about it. I think it came and went. I remember at the time people were sort of bigging it up, but it's not one you hear many people talk about now.
Not in the grand scheme of
that might just be me or in the circle I know, but I love it.
Paul likes it more than me. Wow.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic movie. I really do. It really resonated with me.
God damn, yeah, Paul, you like it more than me, dude. Fair play to you. You like it more than me.
I don't think it's as good as the next 2 films, which but I'd put it as great, at least for me.
We'll go great for this one because me and Andy aren't massive on it. So we'll meet in the middle.
I'll extend an olive branch. I'll extend the olive branch. There are no characters in here that are nowhere near as interesting as Sicario. I'll admit that. The characters are nowhere near
that's the thing. It's more what the film's about rather than what the characters go through.
Good point. Yeah, definitely.
Right, guys, we won't spend too long on these next 2 films because I've just checked the time there and I want to just get this in. Yeah, we know where these two are going.
Get it over with.
I'm just gonna do it. Blade Runner 2049 is going in awesome.
Yeah, I'm slapped.
So, just mega quick thoughts on Blade Runner 2049. I think this done an impossible task and almost improved on the original, if you could say that. I think the argument is definitely there. I think the way it continues the story from the first one is really good and throws in some really, I don't know, like the way that film was going, I didn't have it. I just sort of had it pegged out that Ryan Gosling was going to be like Deckard's son and all. I thought that's exactly where it was going, and the curveball, and the curveball it throws in that, I really appreciated it, and I like watching it on rewatches now just to pick up certain things.
Yeah,
it's another slow burn, and I think we can now all safely say that it's just one of Denis' traits. He does slow burn films. This is just it, man. But
yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
It's a trait with all of his films. I think it's what you've got to get. I think it's what is the difference between him and Chris Nolan, if I'm being honest. But yeah, 2049 for me is outstanding film. The scores, amazing. Not as good as the Vangelis score. I don't think that is what the first score for Blade Runner is absolutely amazing. But yeah, Andy, quick thoughts on 2049, mate. I know you're a big fan.
There are no quick thoughts with Andy and Blade Runner, and I want to see this guy indulge, man, because he makes me so happy when he talks about Blade Runner. It's so cute. I'm not even saying that. I don't even mean that in a patronizing way. I promise. I promise.
Right. I can't do quick thoughts on anything. Let's be honest. I try and do quick, and I end up talking for ages. But it's an impossibly perfect sequel, in my opinion. It was no mean feat at all to make a sequel to Blade Runner, and I think only someone of Denis Villeneuve's kind of class and polish and genuine passion for the genre and for the original could pull it off. But yeah, it's really good. It's deliberately slow paced. I actually think it's, like you say, Ellis, there's so much, you have to give so much credit to the original because that is the original idea. Well, Philip K. Dick kind of gave birth to the idea, but Ridley Scott and the cast fleshed it out. The original Blade Runner is not perfect. There's a reason it's got 5 cuts, because it was a bit of a mess. It was difficult to make. There was studio interference, and it's not perfect, but it has a fantastic theme, and it's got a fantastic aesthetic and score and cast, and it somehow just works. It almost shouldn't work, but it does. And it took a while for people to get on board with it, as is well documented. And ironically enough, Blade Runner 2049 had a similar reception. It wasn't a commercial success for a start.
No.
But comparing it to Dune, right? Because there is probably 2 most similar films, massive franchise sci-fi films. Dune is amazing, but I think it was harder to stick the landing with 2049 than it was Dune. Because the material was there. People had tried. There was a template for it almost, and Denis Villeneuve just realised, just split it over 3 films, and you're golden. So I think, as much as Dune was great, 2049 it was a much more difficult IP to land a sequel for. It was a much more difficult undertaking. So I think it's more of an achievement actually as a standalone movie. But it's just fantastic. Like Paul said about getting emotional in movies, I genuinely got emotional at the end of 2049. There had been no hints whatsoever of the Vangelis score until it mattered, and it really drove home, and it tied everything together. It just tied everything together, because it was like, the first one ends with Roy Batty being more human ultimately than Harrison Ford was prepared to be. Harrison Ford's trying to kill without question these sentient beings throughout the whole film, and then the big swing is at the end. The sentient being turns around when he could just let him die and said, "You know what? I'm going to die here, mate. You've been trying to kill me the whole movie, but I'm going to do a decent thing here and help you out." And in many ways, like, Kay does that. Kay has been disappointed. He gets treated like scum. He gets treated like scum by his own kind because he hunts his own kind. He thinks he's going to be this prodigal son of Harrison Ford and Sean Young's character. we get led down a rabbit hole, and it turns out it's not that at all. And that's when he has a moment of massively, and you as a viewer as well, you're gutted for him.
Yeah.
And he's lost his purpose. He is just a machine, and he's either going to go one or two ways. He's either going to get angry about it, or just kind of take nothing more to do with it. But he doesn't. He goes the other way, and he tries to. He's like, well, I'll make myself significant. I'll be human, kind of thing. And he goes out his way to help and gives his life kind of purpose. And then when the Tears and Rain comes on at the end, it just ties it all back to the Batty. I just thought that was fantastic.
I think if he was going to make a third film, like in a third Blade Runner film, I think Ryan Gosling would have been like the sort of leader of like the revolution against the corporations and the Tyrell company and stuff like that. I think he would have found his purpose, and that would have been his purpose, to be like the lead, like a replicant that's the leader of this army that's going after them. It sort of hinted it in like the last third of 2049. When he realizes he's not actually the son of Kay. But yeah, Paul, what did you think about this one, mate?
Oh, I love Blade Runner 24. It's probably my favourite of Villeneuve's. I still remember going to watch it opening night. 4 people in the cinema. 4.
Ooh, Jesus.
Absolutely. And I was glued to this movie. Neo-noir, cyberpunk. I love all that shit. I'm in the camp. I think this is a better movie than the original, but it's like T1 to T2. Do you know what I mean? It's like you haven't got this without the original. But because I didn't really grow up with the original, I come into the original quite late, and I adore the original movie. This one felt like more, this is my Blade Runner. You know what I mean? It visually, man, oh my God, it's a stunning movie to watch, to look at. The music's fantastic. It is a slow burn, but it's a slow burn. Like you just locked in, man, start to finish. You have covered it, man. It's literally one of my favorite. I would say it's one of my favorite films ever.
Oh wow!
Yeah, ever. Like if I was to make like a top, I don't know, 30, 40 movies ever, I can imagine it being on there.
Jesus, love it.
I adore it. I adore Blade Runner 2049. Yeah, there's nothing more I can say about it. It's fantastic. 10 out of 10 for me.
Kind of the same as you, Paul, in that regard. That there's some films I put on a pedestal that I almost feel intimidated to watch them. Like I don't want to watch them unless I'm giving them the full respect, attention. The full attention, and 2049 is kind of in that camp for me.
Mm-hmm.
Badger, what about you, mate?
Oh, so sweet of you to remember me, brother. Yeah, look, pretty much. I'm in a bit of a strange camp here. Look, just to simplify it, I'm 32 now. I discovered Blade Runner very late because I first saw it when I was 26. 6 years ago, I saw it for the first time. I discovered it late. I've got no nostalgic bias with it. I saw the movies that it inspired before I saw it. I checked. Sorry if my stomach's rumbling. I'm a hungry git. Sorry if that's coming up in my mic. All good. Yeah, what was it? I finally saw it. I wondered if it would be one of those cases where you need nostalgic bias to get on with it. No. Film is fantastic. I saw it and I absolutely bloody loved it. Blade Runner is a goddamn remarkable movie. It's outstanding. Cannot believe that it was made in the early 80s and it still looks as good as it does. It's outstanding. I got it on 4K Blu-ray. Haven't seen the 4K yet. But I am saving up for a damn good time when I can fully give it the attention that it deserves. Fantastic. It's a wonderful film. And Blade Runner 2049, unpopular opinion. I've only seen it once. Saw the first one twice. I definitely didn't prefer it to the first one. Definitely not. I liked it though. I did like it. I saw it and I liked it, but I thought it was a bit too slow, mainly in the middle. Intro was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. That grounded fight scene. You boys won't know this, but maybe Alice will. Kind of reminded me of the fight scene in Glass. The grounded like 2 grounded superheroes fighting, just slamming each other into the thing. Ellis, you've got your mic off, by the way. And what were you saying, dude?
Right at the beginning of the Glass with David Dunn, where he finds the girls, and it's just like
exactly.
Got an interesting camera movement in the start of that as well, the way we shoot it. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying there.
It's very, very grounded how they're slamming each other and all that. Dave Bautista, wonderful actor, wonderful grounded intro. I really was a big fan of Blade Runner 2049, but I just thought it got too slow in the middle for me. Only seen it once. I liked it. I need to rewatch it again because I have a feeling I'm going to fall in love with it. And what I will say is that it should not be as good as it is. And that's coming from a guy who doesn't love it. It really shouldn't have been that faithful. It really shouldn't have been. It had an impossible task and it fit in perfectly with that film. Harrison Ford was badass in it. There was so much greatness in it toward the end. And honest to God, I wish I could have just been in the cinema watching it for the first time, but with Andy. I wouldn't have even watched the film. I just would have watched Andy's face. I can't imagine that being my favorite movie and then seeing that film in the cinema. That must have been a treat because it should have been impossible for it to be that successful. And, you know what I mean? It was that good. Must have been a mad treat for you, Andy, man. That must have been insane for you.
I've seen it twice. I've seen it with my wife, just at my local 2D, and then I went to see it in IMAX 3D myself on a Saturday night, and it was packed as well. I was in between all these couples and stuff, myself and my popcorn. And I loved it. I didn't think it dragged. It's a slow movie, though. There's no getting away from it. As a slow film, and if you're not into that, I think it was maybe missold as well. Blade Runner 2049 to a lot of people, and like we talked about earlier, the trailer made it look like this action-heavy sci-fi movie when it's not that at all. It's like Paul said, it's a neo-noir, slow burn kind of detective story, really. But yeah, it's just an awesome movie. It's probably my most viewed 4K disc, and like I say, I'm intimidated to watch the whole thing, but I often put it on I like putting it on to test like if I'm ever making any changes to my system and stuff. It's my reference go-to disc because it's an absolute stonker of a 4K.
Well, if that's the case, all of you guys can educate me on this as well. I've got both of them on 4K Blu-ray, but I haven't watched them yet. How good is the 4K for both films, the first and 2049?
First one's phenomenal, I think.
Yeah, I did a double bill of them both one Saturday when I was off work and it was pissing down rain. I double billed both of them on 4K, and that was an afternoon. That was a great time.
They're actually a cracking double bill as like examples of what the format's for, in my opinion. You've got the original showcases why it's important to scan movies that are shot on film at 4K and put them onto 4K. So it's a perfect example of that. They haven't lost the grain. They've kept all the detail. They've used HDR to improve the colors, blah blah blah. And then you've got like 2049, which is shot digitally. And it's showing you how like the 4K format can kind of really realize the high precision detail that you can capture when you're shooting. I think it was actually shot just below 4K. I think it was a 3.5, 3.5K master file, slightly upscaled to 4K. So the original source is higher than HD, but not quite full native 4K. But but the disc is a 4K master, I believe. But yeah, they're and the Atmos on it it's an absolute banging soundtrack on both of them. Done well in Atmos.
Yeah, nice, man. Yeah, remarkable film with what it accomplished. I do believe I'm wrong. I do believe I'm gonna like it a lot more when I watch it a second time. That sequel, I do believe it. Yeah, the 2 times I watched the first one, I was just drooling out of the mouth. I'm in love with it. And yeah, hopefully I'll have the same experience when I rewatch the second one. I hope so.
The first one's just more straightforward as well, isn't it? It's got a more straightforward structure. The second one is great, but it's more complex. It's more of a meandering, kind of like twisty, turny.
It's a Denis Villeneuve film.
Yeah.
So, guys, our last film is Dune Part 1. So,
yeah, please don't spoil it for me. I don't even know what the film's about, for crying out loud, and I want to watch this. So
what I was going to say for Dune, we'll put this. I would say this is awesome. Andy, what about you, mate? Awesome. Paul, awesome. Is that what we're saying for Dune Part 1?
Yeah.
I think what we'll do for this one, guys, is we'll leave our major thoughts for it until we record our Dune 2 review. We'll get into Dune Part 1 a little bit then. Maybe Badger will have seen it by then we can have some bigger topical thoughts on it. But yeah, guys, I'm just looking at the time now. Has anyone got any Dune Part 1 quick thoughts they want to sling out, or should we
All,
leave
all I'll
this
s-
one?
all I'll quickly say at 30 seconds is it was my introduction to Dune. I've not seen the original movie. I've never read the book, so it was my introduction to the story, and it instantly made me a fan. Can't wait for part 2. Visually amazing. Story for me is, I described it on another one. For me, I took it as it felt like Game of Thrones in space, with all the houses and stuff like that. Visually amazing. Action scenes, when there are action scenes, are phenomenal. Engaging story. Can't wait to see where it goes. Yeah, as soon as I walked out the cinema, I was an instant fan of Dune.
Yeah.
Nice.
Andy, what about you, mate?
Yeah, I've kind of grown. I've grown to think it's awesome. I thought it was good to great on my initial viewing.
Yeah.
But I watched it in my local cinema, and the speakers were caving in, and it just wasn't a very good presentation of it, which might have detracted from it a bit. I think I was just gutted because it was starting to get so good when it ends. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
it,
it's
like.
a bit childish, but it was a bit bittersweet, as if I was kind of like, "Oh, you're not going to leave it there." So I maybe took it out I took it out on my initial rating of it, because I remember watching Paul's review. Paul did a review of it at the time on his channel, and Paul was gushing about it, rightly so, and he was just bringing up a lot of the points that were making me second guess myself and go, "Yeah, you know what, Paul's right here. Actually, what's wrong with me?" kind of thing. And he's absolutely bang on. And every time I've watched it since, it's just my appreciation of it's grown to the point where I now think it's one of my favourite movies, favourite sci-fi film.
Yeah, totally agree. Like, yeah, it does. It leaves you hanging a little bit at the end, but like, I was sort of expecting that going in a little bit. Like, I'd sort of been keyed up a little bit. That watching a few reviews saying sort of ends in the middle a little bit, but wait until like Dune 2 comes out and we can watch it all in a big one-er. It's going to be the most awesome Sunday ever. Can't wait. But yeah, guys, we'll leave it there. Been going for quite a while now. Just want to thank everyone who's watched, commented. I could just see Jim made an appearance right at the end there. How's it going,
Hey,
Jim?
brother.
Cheers for tuning in,
But
Jim.
yeah, but thanks for coming on, boys. Thanks for everyone watching, commenting. This has been a Total Movie Recall live stream. I'll be in touch about what we're doing next, but definitely keep your eyes open in the next couple of weeks for an Argyle review, an Iron Claw review.
Oh, yeah, Iron Claw, I'm on that.
Dune 2 review. So just keep your eyes open for them. Next live stream, I think, will be the 25th, if I'm not mistaken. So it's quite a while. No, the 15th, sorry. So we're about 2 weeks away. But yeah, thanks, everyone. Good night. God bless. We'll see you in 2 weeks. See you later, guys.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
See ya.